Stand before you today to accept the nomination of our party.
All right, thank you so much for joining us once again on Abuja Fire, coming to you from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. And like you know, my name is Sandra Ago. Today, we are at the office of Tunde Imoleyin. He is the SSA to the FCT Minister on Environment and Waste Management. And today, we shall be discussing waste management in the FCT. Thank you so much for letting us into your office.
Thank you very much, Sandra.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm coping.
All right, speaking about coping, since your appointment, what has it been for you? What has it been for you? How have you managed to transition from just being an architect? Now you are focusing on everything concerning the FCT. How's it been for you?
Yeah, thank you very much again, Sandra. FCT is a living city. It's a nation's capital. And of course, you know the reason why FC came into being. Because there was a need to move from a highly congested city called Lagos. And the question is, has that decision been justified? I would say considerably so. But it's a work in progress, including the environment, waste management, and what it takes to build a city from the scratch. In 1991, the military government under President Babangida came in, moved in, even though there's been a lot of conversations on the motive and the timing. But Abuja has come to be. Abuja is home to all manner of people within the country and outside the country. We've seen quite a number of people moving from their destinations to Abuja and never to return. That means there's something attractive about Abuja. Even those who feel that Abuja is very expensive, they can't even resist the law, the lure of the ambience, the peace until recently that pervaded the city, the environment. I think Abuja is the safest, the cleanest, and the most preferred destination, if not in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa. And considerably, it ranks among the fastest growing cities in the world, despite all the challenges. Abuja is still a place that a lot of people would like to come and come back. It's a tourist destination. It's well managed. And part of the management is in the area of environment and waste management, which is normal in a growing city such as this. Being an architect and reviewing my appointment since my minister, Mohammed Musa Bello, deemed it, necessary to appoint me. I was very grateful to him because there's so many architects, there's so many environmentalists. I'm not the best, but for him to have taken that decision to believe in me that I could assist him in running this city, this city's environment and waste management challenges. I remain grateful to him. The city is growing, like I said. The challenges, we planned for a little above 3 million. We are going, I don't know the exact figures now, astronomically so. Even Lagos, where we departed from, is experiencing the same thing. There's nothing we can do to stop growth. Even if you police every border, in Abuja, people will still come in. You just have to continue to try to provide for it within the limit of your budget appropriation.
You're the first person to fill in this particular position. So why do you think the FCT minister thought it wise to appoint an SSC on environment and waste management?
Wisdom and necessity and engagement that I've had with him even before the appointment, the need for us to tighten up. Unfortunately, we don't have so much time. I mean, I'll leave this office next year, May, and he too. But we will do something, I think, for people to remember, despite the timing. Abuja needs to be nurtured. Every day we wake up and we sleep. A lot happens in the city. This is where the president lives, works, and he's the number one citizen. And of course, you know that FCT is an appendage of the federal government. So more or less is a state on his own, with his own budget. The budget, which is never enough. Just recently, the distinguished senators came visiting as part of their oversight function. And they met a lot of challenges and, of course, a very serious attempt to put so many things on ground. And with a big applause for the minister. We have so many projects that we need to we need to finish before the end of this administration. And they are quite positive that they will assist us, and I'm quite grateful to them. The oversight functions we just suspended because of their break. We resume, but they are quite elated with what our minister has done. That's in the area of infrastructure, which you cannot remove from environment and waste management. The issue of population is actually a major challenge. Globally it is for the environment because there's pressure. And when there's pressure, you have to find a way to address it. That is if you didn't plan from the beginning. That's why it's good in any situation to plan. Because if you fail to plan, that means you're planning to fail. So for FCT, there are so many things that we met that are on ground that we cannot change. There are some that we have to mitigate, and there are others we have to adapt. So many measures have been put in place in this respect. In the area of waste management, reviewing the waste management contract of the cleaning contractors. We have to make sure that this is a city through which there's a window through which everybody sees Nigeria. So we need to make it clean, 24 hours. Because most people don't even go beyond Abuja before they go back to their destinations. So we want them to see not fake assessment of what Abuja is, real assessment. They may not be able to go to the suburbs, they may not be able to go to other areas apart from the city center, but the little they see is enough to paint a picture when they go back to their destinations. Not only that, we need to live in a smart city, especially with this technology. This is a season of technology, or era of technology. So a lot of people are actually changing their template to match the global demands of technology. And Abuja is doing that. You can see that in the kind of quality of houses that we have around. So that this will bring about efficient management of resources. And we are on top of it. And we are working with all the people that are involved. There are so many things that are going on. If you look at it, it's like a full circle.
Okay.
Every aspect of our life is related. You understand? From the food we eat, the clothes we wear, and where we eventually rest. All of them, you have to marry them. They form our environment. And if you don't treat our environment well, the environment will have a serious impact on our health, on our level of reasoning, on our success or failure. So we need to take care of our environment. And that's why the population makes it very difficult for us. But we are doing our best. That's why the influx of people from all over the world, people come in. Let me just tell you, even people from the diaspora that are coming back, they don't want to settle elsewhere apart from Abuja. Everybody. So there's little we can do. The law does not allow us to take, any decision by saying people should go back to their, because every part of the country, according to the constitution, belongs to every Nigerian. So, but we have to at least put up some measures, laws, legislation, and that's exactly what we can do, and to make sure that people don't abuse, environmental laws that are available, and those that are not available, we make sure that we review them. That's why I say it's a work in progress. It's a new city, it's still a new city, because there's so many things that we're tinkering about. Oh, did we do this well? Did we get this right? And of course, you know what happened in the past as far as not adhering to the master plan is concerned. We continue to do it. It's a continuous process. Past administration actually did well in that area, and we're improving on it. We are building, we are rebuilding, we are reconstruction. By the time we are doing that, so many things will change. The dynamics will change. We are building up, we are opening up new cities, and which means that by the time you are opening new cities, more people are coming in, and you need to provide for them.
All right. Before we speak intensively about population growth, you're an architect.
Yes, I am.
So, what are your thoughts about the master plan because you spoke about reconstructing, rebuilding, and all of that? What is your thought on the initial master plan?
Kenzo Tange, great architect, with the help of the Olumuyiwas of this world, did a good work in Abuja. But while we were moving in, a lot happened in the process, and we tinkered with the master plan, human nature. But luckily, we contained several percentage of that mishap. Despite that attempt to restore the master plan, there are several attempts, both on the part of government and individuals, right, to undermine the master plan. Master plan is not casting concrete. Neither is it casting iron. I know that, yes, there's need for adjustments here and there, but within the law. And that's why there's development control, and that's where there are other organizations that are making sure that, yes, even if you want to change your use, you need to comply with certain rules. If you need to get land, you need to get land appropriately. We still have a lot of people who still cut corners with the help of the bad heads in government. We will continue to make sure that, yes, they don't have their way. While they are planning, we are also strategizing to make sure that they don't say true in the interest of the people. As an architect, I feel very proud of Abuja, but I'm not proud of the impunity that goes with the use of the opportunity that it has provided on the part of quacks, on the part of even professionals, because everybody wants to get rich quick. And in the process of doing that, they collude and connive with people in government, bad heads in government, to do whatever they want. But we are on the trail, and we are making sure that they will regret taking such decisions to undermine the importance of the environment. This minister will not take any excuse to devalue the environment in the FCT. This, like I said, this is where the president lives. This is where he works. This is a seat of power, and we cannot wake up and sleep hoping and thinking that others will do it for us. And whatever it will take us to punish the defaulters, we will do. And whatever we do to encourage those who value the environment, who want to make it sustainable, we will also do. But unfortunately, the budget is not enough. Even the public-private participation that we envisage is not coming for some reason. But we are really, really trying. A lot of requests are on the table that we are studying. Not all we can take, because some of them are 419 based. Some people just want landed properties, and they just want to come into relationship with this system so that they can get what they want, and then they leave. They don't have any concrete reasons to engage us on a sustainable fashion. So we are very careful in doing that, and I believe that a lot of good is a mixture of good and bad. But in a society, it cannot be bad throughout, and it cannot be good throughout. So it now boils down to the fact that what do the people want? Do they want to fill the environment, or do they want a clean environment? The choice is theirs. So that's why I keep telling people, in all my years in environmental advocacy, in all my years, 30 years as an architect, building for people, designing for people, reconstruction and reviewing people's abodes, to conform with the environment. I have always said it, that environment is what you make it. If you want to live in a field environment, with shacks, with shanties, you're living on borrowed time. And it's not an option.
Yeah.
But some people see it as an option. They don't care. But we care. Because it means that we're going to spend more money on health. We're going to spend more money on other things that we didn't budget for. So environment is key because it's something that can actually be tantamount to beyond environmental degradation to your health, damage to your health, if care is not taken. Because this takes time. You wouldn't know. It's already in your body. The fumes, the emissions, when you build on sewer lines, you get the repercussion almost immediately. Some that you cannot get the repercussion immediately, you get them on the long run. And it becomes a problem for you. And you have to spend more. That is if the kind of sickness that you get, gets to that.
Yeah. Okay. Now you spoke about films. I'm going to have to ask this. Was there room or was there a plan for an industrial layout in the FCT? And if yes, where is that? Because some people will say Idu, but now Idu is becoming a residential area. So where else?
That's a very good question. I think that question would be better answered by those who are responsible. Maybe the planners and whatever. But being an architect, and because I know a little bit about this, it's not as if there was not a specified area for such development. But the moment people see the opportunity, they jump at it and they break the rule, they break the law. One major thing that is very important in development is services. Where there's water, where there's infrastructure, where there's sewage. You understand?
Yeah.
That attraction is what people look for, especially the developers. So they can raise the value of their properties, value of their development. So if Idu has such infrastructure and is attractive to residential development, and the people in government allows it, for whatever reason.
But that shouldn't be allowed.
It shouldn't. You just said so. There's nothing that has been done that we are not reviewing. Maybe you are not seeing them. Remember, Idu area houses the railways, houses our dump site. People who are building along the dump site, we are already talking to them that you cannot sustain this. The fact that you did it doesn't mean that it has to be sustained. Because very soon, the rate of, because they're exposed, people will be exposed to all sort of diseases, cancer, which takes years to develop. So we don't want this to happen. A lot of things have been done, but we cannot solve all this problem in a soup. I mean, it takes time. It takes a lot of regulations, some of them legislation for us to address. But we are coming. We are actually, the reason why I came is just to ensure that certain gaps are actually, worked.
All right. Now let's talk about waste management and the environment. Would you rate, how would you say Abuja has fared, taking into consideration that it's the federal capital when it comes to cleanliness and environment?
If there is any city that has been given priority attention as far as those things you mentioned is concerned, it's the FCT. The minister cannot, will not, and should not allow Abuja to be filthy, even if it requires him to spend his personal money. It is what defines his appointment. the major thing that defines Apapa. The first thing you see is that, is it a clean city? We all go outside the country, even where you don't have skyscrapers, even where you don't have, all the effects that supposedly make a city. I don't want to mention names of cities in Africa, for instance. There's some cities in Africa that they don't parade all the techs that we see in New York and other countries, other Western countries. But when you talk about their cleanliness, okay, let me come back home. You talk about Calabar. I don't know how it is now. They say Calabar is a clean city. It's a green city. Yeah, that's what people, I don't know. They used to say Port Harcourt is a garden city. So what do you say about Abuja? You understand? So it's a great nation's capital, and people, that is the objective. That is what we want to achieve. We want people to say, yes, we meet at airports in other countries, and people say, oh, you're from Nigeria. Where? Abuja. Oh, very good city. It's a very clean city. That's the first thing I want to hear as an environmentalist, as somebody in church. If I go for conferences, that's the first thing I want somebody who has visited to say, even before anything. So it's a work in progress. And I think, despite the fact that there's an influx of population, we are managing the system. It's not, we don't have enough money to buy a lot of equipment, but the ones we have, we are actually dealing with the problems with what we have. But we need more. We need more. For instance, because we need to get the city cleaner, we need to move to the suburbs. We need to get to the area. Of course, the nature of Abuja is very into districts, and all the districts they are manned by various heads and political heads, and they're doing their best. They work with us, and you know what the law says about that. So, and we ensure that we do what we need to do to ensure that Abuja is very clean. There are challenges, but they are not unsurmountable. That's what I would just say.
What are those challenges?
Yeah, I just mentioned. We need a lot, because everybody knows that to manage a city, a great city like Abuja, you need a lot of money.
Okay.
We need more appropriation, to be able to take care of our challenges. More people come in. You may think that it translates to a lot more tax and more revenue, though we are the second in the country after Lagos. But the distance is so large to the extent that you can't compare the revenue generation ability or competency or capability of Lagos to Abuja. Abuja is a very young city. And you also have to look at the taxable level of people. The high level people, where the industries, you can't compare that with Lagos. But I appreciate we are number 2, where we are doing well, and we could do more, because that's the area where we could generate much of our income, and so that we can, apart from what we get from allocation we get from government, but we're also exploring, like I said, the PPP concepts. It's not really gelling, but I know that very soon, with the stability that the political system is getting, a lot of people will have confidence. It's not a pity that we have security challenges which government is actually battling with. A lot of requests from abroad, from people in the diaspora, to work with us. It's on the table, and we are studying them. We're just being very cautious. Yes, we're just being very cautious. Just recently, somebody wanted to take over our risk management apparatus, and we had a meeting with him. We had a meeting with another person. There's so many people that we can't do it alone. There's no way we can do it alone. It's very obvious. Lagos, I know very well, because I was parcel of the makeup of the PSP operation when it evolved. We evolved it. I was part and parcel of it. It has grown beyond what we expected, and is now functional. And that is what is making Lagos comparatively, better than what it used to be, considering the over 20 million population of that state. In Abuja, we are also looking at various ways we can reduce the population, or we can do more to accommodate people without feeling the impact too much. Because the first thing you have when population is the environment. And again, when there are no options, right, catch-22 sets in, and we are looking at all those challenges in the area of pollution, in the area of flood management as I speak, because we're in rainy season. I mean, we are dealing with a lot of flooding problems. And we are punishing defaulters by demolishing buildings and shacks that shouldn't be there in the first place.
Okay.
Of course, you are aware of that. But what we're doing differently is that we are making sure that immediately we demolish, we restore, and we make sure they don't go back there again. And that is very important. I mean, that was never done before. I think about 6 months ago, what people were saying about Abuja has changed. You agree with me, a journalist. They used to talk about Abuja is not well lit. Abuja is not a place that you can go and have a nightlife. That's not correct. What is correct is that things are changing. Changing, definitely, we can see our markets changing in terms of the environment and in terms of operations and facilities. Okay, the toilet facilities, you can see just recently we made sure, because you can't punish defaulters without providing them with the facilities. It is wrong. It is wrong. So that's why we are working with other organizations to bring about these facilities, which was launched recently by the Minister of State. And gradually, you begin to see that culture of cleanliness amongst the people. The people too should own the process, because there's little you can do if people don't want to be clean. It is their decision. They are the taxpayers. They are the voters. If we are ruling over you and we are providing leadership, I mean, we expect you to provide good followership. And people should not, because we don't have any, why should people dump waste into the drains? Just because you feel that, yes, they would be cleared by rainfall. And that is counterproductive. So the attitude of the people, that's why we're engaging in a lot of advocacy. This is one of them. And then I begin to see right now, I remember when I started environmental advocacy way back in the early 90s, there were a few of us. But right now, every station, every radio and television station has an environment desk, which is good. We should do more, because the environment is very key. Climate change, it's something that we can prevent. Prevention is better than cure. We travel with a lot of money outside the country just to make sure that we increase the capital for climate change mitigation and what have you. Global warming mitigation and adaptation measures. But local action is important. There's a cliche that says that we should think globally and act locally. That is what we should buy. People travel all the time. We see infrastructures that work well for all those communities, work well for all those countries. When we get to Nigeria, we don't replicate, even by way of adapting to our situation. I mean, to our situation's tradition, economic and cultural differences. We don't do all these things, and we don't integrate all these things into the policies, especially on the part of government. We want to begin to see that change emanate from both government and the led. Because the led and the government, they are both stakeholders in the process. So the people has a lot to do, as much as government also has a lot to do. If government puts in place infrastructure to take care of the environment, people should not destroy them. People should not steal them. We should wage war against those people who go around destroying the infrastructures that are put there for the sake of all of us. And again, we are also looking at, I was with the Agriculture Ministry, Secretariat recently, because as part of my oversight function, and so many areas were touched. We look at our forest, because of course, the carbon sink, we have to increase it, so that at least the pollution in the environment can be accommodated. But people are still felling trees. They say because they don't have any option. And that's why we're looking into provision of stores, provision of what they can, because if you don't have any option, it will degrade the environment. There's no doubt about it. So there are so many things we are thinking with. And in the area of we have parks and gardens and parks and recreation, and they are doing a beautiful maintenance job for we are working on Federal Secretariat right now as a key structure in Abuja For 22 years, that place has not been touched. Change of use, facilities, every public official goes there and they change the setting, they do renovation to accommodate their needs, forgetting about the sustainability. And that's why you see patches of dirt,
Water.
on the walls, water, sewage, leakages and everywhere. We are spending a lot of money trying to maintain that because it's our property. So we are actually doing so much with little amount of money that we have. This is a state because it's different. It may be a ministry, but of course the semblance of a state government. And the money is never enough. Never enough. And the more pressure we are getting. I mean, Lagos has a reason, to demand a special attention.
Yeah.
FCT has more to demand for more money or for more attention to be paid to it. Like I said, if FCT collapses, the nation collapses. This is where every decision is taken. This is where every action is taken. This is where most people who come to Nigeria for the first time come. So you have to invest in the country. I mean, in the nation's capital that is growing, especially that one that is growing, nurturing it so that nothing happens to it. Rebuilding another capital will be a very, very expensive thing. But the one we have, we can maintain it. You understand? We have to really, if you need to come to Abuja, you must come not to defile it. You must come to develop and nurture it, preserve it, conserve it. And you must also come to imbibe the laws that are on ground. Not that for you to come around and say that, yes, it belongs to all of us. You can do whatever you want to do with it. As if this state is not, the capital city is not governed by the laws. A lot of people are very lawless. And that's why you see them. They're all over the place. They're exclusive to Abuja, They're everywhere. So I want to use our own media. I'm ready to work with you. To see how we can, reach a greater number of people. The fact is that people take law into their hands, and they don't care. It's just like somebody going into the toilet to use. He's selfish. It's just about his immediate needs. Once he does the needful, he doesn't care about the other person. We want to say that is wrong.
So how do we now go about this sensitization? I know that what we're doing right now is part of it.
It's part of
but then how do we get this to the grassroots to make people understand that, no, this thing you're doing is wrong? Because you made mention of throwing waste in flowing waters, building shanties and houses on waterways. How do you make people now understand that this thing you're doing is wrong? Because I'm also going to take into consideration what we see at our bus stops, at our bridges, people selling at the bridges. For me, I think this is also an issue when it comes to environmental sanitation, because they make those places, they turn it into a mess and nobody takes care of it. I see Abuja Environmental Protection Board trying their best to get people out of but they never leave. When they do the job in the morning, in the evening, they're back. At night, they're back. How do we now police these people to make sure that everything is in check?
Let's check with her. Sandra, what do you think is the solution? No, don't give me an idea. Because I'm going to tell you something. Just tell me, give me an idea.
Well, you will know better.
What do you think? No, what do you think we should do? You see, Sandra, I'm not going to task you. It is a very simple question. It is not enough for anybody to come to say that because of economic problems, he has to degrade the environment. It is an unacceptable excuse.
Okay.
It is impunity of the highest order. And that's why we are going to do the right thing. I won't tell you what we're going to do. We've seen a lot of the highest level of impunity. The moment we say, don't do this, they come back. It becomes a cat and, what do you call it? Cat and mouse
chase.
We don't want it. We want to devise a strategy that will make it impossible for anybody to degrade the environment and get away with it. And those who are conniving, whether on the part of government or otherwise, they will sleep no more. I can assure you this, take it to the bank, that whatever impunity that you had seen will be a thing of the past as soon as possible. We have noticed that. The moment we spend a lot of money, you know how much diesel we spend on diesel these days to go and demolish shanties, they're back. we are devising a means that will make their ouster permanent and rewarding for the people that obey the law of the land. Because we owe them, they pay their tax, and they have a right to live in a settlement that is habitable. They have a right. Human rights. Constitution also is also there for them. We need to protect those rights. So those who are defaulting, right? I am warning them through your medium that the end has come for them. They have to devise other ways of survival. If they feel that breaching the laws is the best way to live, they have taken a wrong decision. Not with this administration. We will not allow that. And let me just tell them through this medium that as from this moment, they will never have it easy. You spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, buying diesel to move the vehicles, to move the trucks, to demolish. We give them notices and everything. Yet they don't want to go. You see a lot of people turning our roads infrastructure, road architecture to selling points, not wanting to go to the market and giving us excuses that they cannot pay for the market. Is that enough reason why you should degrade the environment? No. We know that people have the right to their livelihoods. We care for the people. The social department, all the other departments are taking care of the needs of the people. So when we say go to the market and lay bare your stuff, you now go on the roads and you are selling. See, most of them are even careless about that. Some erect permanent structures. Yes, we take them down in the interest of those people who are obedient. I mean, who are very, very constructive, who are actually, living within the law and obeying the laws and the structures and keeping the law. We will do that. But for the defaulters, and they are very few, they are negligible, we will not allow them. Henceforth, anyone that does that is on his own. We've seen that. That's exactly what we see everywhere. And it will not endure. I can assure you that.
All right.
Not with this administration.
Okay. Now, you spoke a lot about population growth and its effect on the FCT.
Yeah.
Now, one of the effects that I have noticed personally is the increase of slums and shanties, and you also mentioned it. And then these slums and shanties patronize scavengers, who we popularly call Bora Bora.
Babambola, yeah.
Yes. So how is their, because I don't really understand their mode of operation, and what do they do with the waste? What are your thoughts on their operations, and how can they be taken care of?
It's a social problem. It's a socio-economic problem. It's also a serious security problem, because we found out that most of them are not honest. And despite the fact that in Lagos, there were issues in Lagos before they were incorporated into the system, and it worked. But because of the security response of the government, I mean, that insecurity aspect of it was contained. But in Abuja, it looks as if every Babambola in Nigeria has moved to Abuja. Like I said, the minister is very, very concerned about this. Committee has been set up to look at it and other issues, like resettling the categories and what have you. Because you didn't mention that, but of course work is ongoing, trying to address some of the unsightly, activities that you see around. Babambola is an embarrassment. We've had reports of people who complain about their activities, stealing, robbing, and doing other kinds of untoward things. We are going to address them in as much as we believe that, yes, they have a role to play. The good ones, we sift the wheat from the chaff, and we will do the needful. I am very sure that before the end of the year, you see a different. Because they take advantage. We're going to find a solution, a very permanent solution to it, and those bad behavior will be contained. It's not unsurmountable. It's just of the attraction that Abuja has, like I said earlier on. People just want to, they just find Abuja their abode, whether they're legally or illegally. But we only allow legal people to stay here legally. It's not, we're not trampling on anybody's rights, but at the same time, we are not going to allow anybody to come and trample on other people's rights. And we don't want anybody to come to Abuja to come and insult our intelligence. If you cannot come to Abuja and work within the law, go back. Coach me. And then that's so the same thing appeals to every state in the country. Because you must stay with the law. You can't break the rules. It's not allowed. The moment you start breaking the rules, you are put in check. And you can't even have peace. You can't have peace of mind. So some people are determined to come and cause trouble. We won't allow them. Whether through babambolizing or through any other means or whatever, Boko Haram. No. Because our forests are being combed every day. Because we have a feeling that, not we have a feeling, most of these miscreants stay there. The forest, all these, the cashew trees that the inhabitants plant to secure their land has become, they call it what? They call it Sambisa. You see them lurking around those areas. We are taking them down. And we're talking to developers in this regard. We're talking to even the inhabitants around it. Because it has become, an avenue for people to grow, to do these miscreants to grow. Because we're chasing them away from the town publicity center. And they are going to those areas to hide. We won't allow that. The Babambolas, if they are not ready to obey the laws, we'll do the needful. So I'm using this medium to let them understand that the minister frowns at that, and we are doing everything possible to ensure that yes, it's a new day in the FCT, and that we will not allow anybody to destroy FCT for us. Because there's a purpose for which FCT was created, that purpose has to be realized.
All right, now before we go, is there a room for environmental sanitation soon? Or how do an average resident of the FCT now get involved in keeping the environment clean?
That's a very good one. There is no strict laws for environmental sanitation, as you're aware. I guess it's done in other places. But we work with CDAs, community development associations, to undertake such activities, whether in estates or whether in the areas of jurisdiction, to ensure that there is cleanliness. We work with them. And they embark on these activities, even without government, and I think we have to expand, even up to the suburbs. So we have to work with district councils to ensure that this happens. But we have also found out that some people are not environmentally sensitive in the discharge of their duties. So it's an ongoing thing, an ongoing advocacy through the media, through various community development associations, because you can't reach people individually. Everybody that actually has access to electronic or print media. So we have to go through community development associations, market women, other sectors, to ensure that, yes, we educate people about how to clean their markets, we educate people how to clean their residences, we provide bins, we make sure we carry them as and when due, things where, you notice that in even those areas, flash areas, the far points, most of them are cleaner than they used to be. It's because we have realized the need to ensure that, yes, we keep the people busy. I don't think people need to be forced to clean their environment. Let me even use this word. It is insulting. It will be insulting to me if I wait for government to come and teach me, even if I'm an illiterate, are you with me?
Yeah.
But we still do. We still do through the necessary avenues. And I think we can sustain it. And so that at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to make people own the environment, keep it, protect it, and sustain it.
All right, thank you very much. It's been amazing talking to you.
Yeah.
I wish we could continue this conversation, but I have to let you go. Thank you so much
No
for
problem,
talking to
Sandra.
us.
Thank you. I wish KAFTAN well.
Well, that's all we can take today on Abuja File, coming to you from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. Do remember to take care of your environment. Till I come your way next time, I am Sandra Ago, and bye for now.
Standing before you today to accept the nomination of our party.